Morning lovelies, I hope that you're all well. It's Saturday, yay! Loads of you have probably got the day off, so I hope you're doing something nice. I've got a QHHT session, so I'm just waiting for my client, so I thought I'd hop on here. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the post that I put out yesterday, which was called Origin Wounds. And what that means is trauma. Past trauma, hurt, pain, emotional stuff that we've all been through. You know, we've all got wounds, and I put this in my post. None of us are exempt from being hurt or challenged in our life, otherwise we wouldn't learn anything. But what I feel, you know, lots of us don't understand, and it was a game changer for me when I really acknowledged this was a thing, that when we go through pain in our life, emotional pain, something that's really upsetting for us, often we carry that pain with us. We carry it forward as a wound, and it doesn't always get healed straight away. In fact, very rarely I feel that these kind of big emotional upsets get healed straight away, unless obviously we do the work straight away, and that's not always possible because we're not always aware that something that we've gone through is still having an effect on us. And sometimes it can be years later that we'll have an explosive reaction to something which feels to be, you know, completely out of proportion, and we might have this explosive reaction, and then we'll be like, freaking hell, where did that come from? And that's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about when we have those moments, which people are now calling like trigger moments, when we have those moments where we respond emotionally to something which on the face of it might seem actually quite small, but the way we respond is really out of character for ourselves. Or it could be a behavioural pattern that we've adopted. For example, you know, we could become particularly angry around certain subjects, and it's not something that we really understand where the anger's coming from. And I would suggest that in most of these moments, there's actually something which you've gone through in the past, which has created a belief system, has created a wound which needs taking care of, that needs looking at, that needs going back to understand and to release. And really, you know, I say this loads of time, healing is just gathering information. It's going back and looking at all of the things that we've ever been through in our lives, those painful things, those painful moments, those really difficult relationships, and understanding that they can still have an effect on us, especially childhood things. You know, we go through a lot in childhood that as a child we don't have the capacity, the tools to take care of ourselves. And then in later life, when we're growing up and as an adult, we realise that actually we're responding to the inner child wound. And lots of people do inner child work. This is called so many different names: shadow work, inner child work. You know, Teal Swan calls it sort of aspects of ourselves which become ignored, we deny them. It doesn't really matter what you call these experiences, these moments of emotion. What's important is that you acknowledge them. And I'm sure that anyone who's watching this video now, if there is a moment or a memory which is coming up for you, then that is your higher self giving you a little nudge in the direction of, my darling, this needs looking at. You know, you need to take care of this. You need to understand it, unpick it, acknowledge it, forgive yourself for what you've gone through, accept it, move through the pain, feel the pain again if you need to, and then let it go. and release yourself from the responsibility for that wound. You know, we're not responsible for the wounds that we are affected by, but we are responsible for doing the work. If we want to grow, if we want to move forwards, if we don't want to be controlled by our emotional state, which then, you know, it affects us physically. We see this all the time. People become very physically affected by emotions which are left uncared for. And so quite a lot of the time I feel like we don't always know where these sort of outbursts come from. And that really is why 𝕉𝕻𝕻 is so powerful, because we don't have to know. You know, when we're in this relaxed phase, subconscious, higher self, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, comes in and shows you those memories which are affecting you now. Memories from past lives or memories from the past of your current life. Whichever are affecting you, that comes up in your hypnosis. We travel through it together, and then we release the emotional effect that it's having on you. So that's what I wanted to remind you of today. If this is touching you, if this is having a little response in you, if there's a little voice saying, yeah, do you know what, I feel like we need to take a look at this, it's probably true. So I'm always here. I offer totally free telephone consultations. Basically, if you just want to have a chat, you don't have to commit to a session just because we've had a phone call. But, you know, reach out, my darling. I'd love to help. 𝕉𝕻𝕻 is awesome for this stuff. So yes, I hope this little video helps you in some way. And I'm sending you lots of love as always.